Okay, today, day 31, second day, I took off, didn't go in today. Went to the dentist, got some necessary stuff done. Actually, the timing was such that I could have gone in. And actually, at one point in the day, I did plan on going in at 6. There was no email early in the afternoon. You know, we're busy, we need people. So my option to go in was at 6 p.m. And just, I was in pain, and I also barely slept last night. And I just laid down, like in the early afternoon, and went to sleep for a while. Wasn't feeling up for going in. So, second day off, but today, second pay stub was made available. So I saw it, haven't received the money yet, but I saw the pay stub. So, gonna do some voiceover, PowerPoint stuff, have some graphics for you, have some math, and let me explain what I saw in the pay stub. Okay, hope you enjoyed the background picture. Some huge pot at MGM a few months back. Anyway, there is my accounting and there is the Orleans accounting. So first, total hours on the clock. I had myself at a certain amount of hours. The Orleans had me at 11 more minutes. Okay, awesome that it's a little more, not less, like at other jobs where it was always a little less if it wasn't exact. I don't know, maybe just some rounding thing that we're off a little bit. I was like 3 minutes off the first pay stub, and then over these 14 calendar days, 13 of which I worked, 11 minutes off. Okay, that's about the same. Overtime hours, still something is off that I'm not aware of. I had a certain amount of overtime hours for myself. Orleans had a number that was 7 hours 25 minutes on the short side. So don't know what's going on with the OT hours, but it was less. But it's not really, well, it was fewer. It's not really a big deal because of the down rates to me. So the pay for down rates, for dealing tournament downs, because the cash game tips I just cash out at the end of the night and I go home with it. The down rates for the tournaments, I need to wait to get paid by Orleans. It was 14.59% more. I'm giving you this number as a percent because of the rest of the math. So let's look at this. Here we go. Hold'em tournament down rates. I had 87 by my accounting. The pay stub doesn't say how many down rates. It doesn't break it down by Hold'em and non-Hold'em. It doesn't say the number at all. It just says the dollars. So we just have to go with my number. 87 down rates, 87 downs in Hold'em tournaments, and the number is $15 per down guaranteed. In non-Hold'em, which I'll just call mixed game tournament downs, I dealt 37 in this pay period, and we're guaranteed $20 per mixed game down. So if you wanted to know the weighted average, this is how you do it. 87 for the Hold'em downs divided by 124, the total amount of downs. 87 plus 37 is 124. Multiply by $15, then add 37 divided by 124, which is the fraction of total downs that were mixed game downs, and multiply that by $20, the mixed game down rate. So it should be $16.49, the weighted average for tournament downs. I dealt 124 downs, and the weighted average is $16.49 per down. That's by my accounting, but things were 14.59% more. So multiply that weighted average in my accounting times 1.1459, which means we're adding 14.59% to it, and that's 18.89. That was, according to the pay stub, what I got my weighted average for tournament down rates. So we could do that for each type of tournament also. Hold'em tournament downs, it's guaranteed at $15, but add 14.59% to it, and I actually got paid $17.19 per Hold'em tournament down for this last pay period, and do the same thing for mixed. Guaranteed at $20, but add 14.59% to it, and I actually got paid $22.92 per mixed game down rate this last pay period. So I have heard people say last summer, even though the Hold'em down rate is guaranteed at 15, it was closer to 20. Well, for this pay period, not quite 20, but over 17 instead of just 15, so it is more. And for the people who are asking, because for me in real time, the last pay period video recently went up. Tips, yes, tips are definite. Tips to go to staff. That's how tips work, tournament tips. there's no point in me trying to calculate what I should get from tournament tips. Even if I deal the final table, which I never have, and I deal the final hands of the tournament, which I never have, and I see the tip the winner leaves, that's only part of the equation. I don't know all the other tips. There's a tip box at the tournament podium. Anyone can put money in there. It's not common for people besides the winner of the tournament or like the guy who finishes second or third in the tournament to put money in there, but people do. I don't know those amounts. I also don't know what portion of the total downs of the tournament were mine. Like the Sunday special starts and we have 40 tables going. For a long time there are like 40 tables going, and then for a chunk of the time there are 39 tables going, and then 38, etc., etc., and then eventually there's only the final table. I can go back and look at a certain Sunday and see, oh, how many Hold'em tournament downs did I deal? But I can never know how many total downs were dealt by all dealers total in the tournament. So even if I knew the tips for the tournaments, which I don't, I can never multiply, oh, this is the portion of the tournament downs I dealt, so I get that percentage of the tips. It's just pointless. There are too many unknown variables to try to calculate, so I'm just not trying to calculate it at all. If I would be doing this if Hold'em's down rates were $15, never a cent more, I would still be doing this if mixed game tournament down rates were $20 per down, never a cent more. So from last pay period, I felt like I was like $100 ahead, even though overtime was a little off and never got the orientation pay. In this one, I feel like I was short about $42 on the overtime pay, but I got about $298 more than I expected for down rates. So you combine those, and it's what, 256 ahead this pay period, and then add the 100 from last pay period, and I feel like I'm $356 ahead of what I expected, of like what, you know, I thought the numbers were when I signed up for this. So I'll never know what the tournament tips were. I'll never know if I'm getting the right percentage. Maybe I got like an extra $10 than I was supposed to. Maybe I was short $10 than I should have gotten. I'll never know, so there's no point in trying to calculate that. But to me, I feel like so far after two pay periods, I'm like $356 ahead, so things are looking good. And yeah, for the people asking about overtime, just don't know. Pretty sure the week, as Orleans counts it, is Friday to Thursday for a few reasons. Don't know what's going on with that. It's not that I'm getting none. Like, that would be weird if I got no overtime hours. It's just, it's not what I'm counting. And yeah, probably never know what's going on with that. As far as tournament downs go, I think the last time I talked about looking in that binder and checking the previous day's tournament downs, I felt I had 9 mixed game downs in my records, and then I checked the next day and I only saw the number 8. So like I was short 1 down. That was very early in the second pay period. Since then, the second pay period is done. So there were actually 2 days where I checked the binder and the number was 1 lower than what I had. There were 2 days I checked the binder where the number was 1 higher than what I had. So it all evened out, -2 +2. It all evened out, and I would, to bring up 1 down once isn't worth it to me. If like every single day the number was 1 below what I had, I would bring that up, and that's like the stuff UPS tried to pull a lot. It's not like that at all. Many days it's exactly what I have. I think 2 or 3 times now after 4 weeks it was 1 number off on the short side, and 2 or 3 times it was 1 number off on the high side. So that's fine, whether it's just a mistake or, I don't know, it could be a mistake on my end, doubt it, but it's like an occasional thing, and it's happening both ways. Like at UPS it was much more than an occasional thing, and it was always resulting in me getting paid less money than I was supposed to. So I wasn't happy about this. I wasn't happy about that at UPS. I'm fine with what's going on at Orleans. And that is it. Second pay stub information done. I do realize I did not tell you Monday's pay. Monday was not on the schedule, but Did go in, get almost a full day, so probably tomorrow, barring something incredibly interesting happening while I'm on the clock, tomorrow's video, the day 32 of 50 video, will be going over Monday's pay, because I promised you guys 1 day a week telling you exactly what I made. And remember, rice is a spoon food.